Hello everyone, welcome to Economics NCRT series, and today we are going to cover chapter 3. Welcome to Shikara IAS Academy, and we are going to complete the NCRT Economy series of standard 9 to 12. So please stay tuned with us because today we are going to cover the chapter 3, which is your poverty as a challenge. Yes, how poverty has become a challenge for India, we are going to cover that. So, this is Raini Simon, and I will be your educator for NCRT Economy and also for Current Affairs at Shikara IAS. Yes, and I have 6 long years of experience for UPSC preparation, and I've also taught in a lot of reputed institutions. So, let's get forward. Poverty line. What is poverty line? See, there is division. Okay, how you will decide? Suppose there are two people. Okay, suppose there are two people, person one and then person two. Then how will you decide that who falls below the poverty line? So, for deciding that, we have something criteria related to the minimum level of consumption and income. Yes, the minimum level of necessary consumption and income of a person will be deciding that whether that person will be falling below the poverty line or above the poverty line. Okay, so poverty trends in India or in world are illustrated through the concept of poverty line. Not only in India, but we also have something called international poverty line also. Yes, my dear students, also in international forum, we get that such kind of poverty line is there and they will be deciding with the help of income or consumption level. So at present formula, if we talk about presently, then we have something called calorie requirement, desired calorie requirement. And what should be the desired calorie requirement? Let's see. So before that, before seeing the desired calorie requirement, let me give you an example. In this example, you can see that a person is so sad that he is not able to educate his girl child. He's saying that even after migrating from village area to urban area, I could not earn that much so that I can feed my children and I can also send my students for education in schools. So this was the dilemma, and this kind of images you can find in a lot of NCRT books, and they will be telling you the exact scenario what is happening with the poor people in India, which are falling not only below the poverty line. A lot of people who are above the poverty line are also not able to fund for their education of their children. Yes, education is something which they are not able to fund for their children even after having above poverty line. So now let us discuss. So minimum calorie when it comes to rural area is 200 for 2400, and when it comes to urban area it's 2100. Yes, in village area, we have 2400 calories because in village area, you will see a lot of physical activities done, students. Yes, a lot of physical activity is done, and because of physical activity, you will see that the calorie intake in village area is considered to be higher. And what was that? It is 2400, and in urban area is 2100 calories per person per day in urban areas. And who does the survey for this poverty line estimates? Who does the survey? Again, this body is your National Sample Survey Organization. And it is your NSSO. Yes, NSSO becomes very important. NSSO becomes very important because in lot of times you will see in UPSC also you will see that a lot of questions are being asked on this organization, that is National Sample Survey Organization. Okay, then you can see here how the poor family is sitting together and they are not able to get a lot of things like pulses, vegetables, fruits, eggs, dairy. These all things are they are not going to get. They are not able to get, and because of this poverty, they are just feeding on some wheat or some kind of grain chapati, and with water they are having it. And this is their condition. They are having three children. They are having three children, yet they have no place to stay. They have nothing to eat. They have bare minimum to eat and stay. So this is the condition which causes poverty. Again, population becomes a very important. Yes, my dear students, population becomes a very important criteria for poverty. Yes. Then let's talk about what Mahatma Gandhi said. Yes, poverty is the biggest challenge. Yes, not only after independence, but still now poverty and equality has become a challenge which we are catering to. Yes, the biggest challenge after independence is poverty, and the current government is trying to cater to the needs. And according to Mahatma Gandhi, poverty is the worst form of violence. Yes, poverty is the worst form of violence. Why it is the worst form of violence? See, if someone is poor, no, then that person becomes handicapped. And if a person becomes handicapped, then he or she becomes a liability to the society, liability to the family. So in that case, it is a highest form of violence. So Mahatma Gandhi says that India could be truly free only if the poorest of the poor become free from suffering. So Gandhi ji once said that if the country has to be free in the real sense, if the country need to get independence from the real sense, then in that case they have to make their people free from human sufferings. And you can also quote such kind of quotes in essay paper and ethics paper, right? Now, going forward, let's talk about the mentorship program from Shikara IS Academy by our own Deepika Reddy ma'am. Yes, by our own Deepika Reddy ma'am, we have our Telangana State PCS 25-2026 program, mentorship program, and you can contact us in this given number below. We will also prepare you for Telangana State PCS Group 1 examination, and you will be getting live classes, 100% syllabus coverage in just 40,000. So what are you waiting for? Grab the opportunity. And we will be also happening Telangana State PCS Group 2 examination preparation for one whole year with live and recorded sessions, and definitely the guidance of our respected Deepika Reddy ma'am. Now, if we talk about the indicators, if we talk about, there are some indicators like income and consumption. Yes, income and consumption become some of the few indicators which are actually deciding the poverty level. But my dear friends, but my dear students, apart from these indicators, we also have something called literacy level, lack of literacy level, then malnutrition, healthcare, lack of job opportunities, also lack of safer drinking water and sanitation. So these are also the indicators, not only income and consumption, but these are also the criteria by which you can indicate whether a person is poor or not. And you can see these innocent students, they are not getting actual facility of education which they were supposed to get. And this is the scenario in a lot of families who all are falling below the poverty line. Okay. Now, government initiatives. If we talk about the government initiatives, there are a lot of government initiatives. Okay. And we will take example of two government initiatives which are giving livelihood and employment to the villagers and the poor people. That is your Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana. Yes. And this is talking about how people can form self-help groups and they can thus work for the society and for their own betterment. And apart from that, we have MG Narega, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. What does this talk about? Everybody who is preparing, every student who is preparing for UPSC state PCS must know about MG Narega because it is a 100-day employment scheme for the villagers. Okay. And you need not to be skilled for that. Okay. You need not to be skilled for that to get 100 days of wage. Now, if we talk about social inclusion, yes, social inclusion is a real thing. Not only it was the thing of the past, but now also you will see gated society where poors are not allowed to enter the society. Yes, the poor people are not allowed to enter the society. Why? Because they are poor. So the gated society concept is there, which causes social inclusion. And here in this picture, you can see how this girl is being seated alone here because of maybe because of her caste, maybe because of her financial condition, and the rest of the students are they're being taught by the teacher. So this is also happening. They are being excluded by benefits, facilities, opportunities with other kids. And caste in India has become a very prominent thing. Yes, my dear students, caste has become a very prominent thing which is catering to the need, which is catering to the exclusion of societal elements, exclusion of people on the basis of caste and discrimination. Going forward, we know that caste is an evil, but my dear friends, only caste is not an evil. Okay, when the discrimination, when the untouchability starts because of caste, then the caste becomes the evil. Okay, people who are belonging to the lower strata, people who belong to OBC, SC, STs, okay, they are facing a lot of discrimination still in India. Okay, and there is a lot of human rights violation happening, and this factor are also somewhere taking the good opportunities from the lower backward classes of people socially belonging to the lower backward classes, and these opportunities they are not getting, and that's why the government has come up with reservation system. Have you heard about reservation system? Obviously you might have heard about reservation system. So in reservation now, the socially economically weaker section also are going, EWS also we have, right? Economically weaker section, even though they are higher in caste, but they are getting this reservation because they are poorer. Okay, we have reservation for SC/ST, we have reservation for OBCs, so that they can level up in the society. This is the initiative which is going on after independence, and still it is going on. Now, what are the vulnerable groups? Vulnerable groups, according to this NCRT, if we talk about, they are your scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, the lower backward class people who are asked to do a very major kind of work. So in this book, still they are not that updated. But if we talk about vulnerable groups in total, then vulnerable groups, my dear students, they are your women who are not working, people who are handicapped, the old people, the children who are dependent, they are actually your vulnerable groups. Okay, and if you see in rural area, people who are going for labor household works, okay, rural agriculture labor household works, and also in urban area, the casual workers, the casual labor household workers are falling under this vulnerable. And there is also one term called double disadvantage. What is double disadvantage? It means that when a person is working in agricultural field but he does not own his own land. Yes, he does not own his own land, and then on top of that, he is also belonging to the so-called socially backward class. The socially backward group. Okay. So in that case, he or she will be called double disadvantaged. And now you can see the children, the poor children, the people belonging to the lower strata of the caste system, they are generally, we see, are the actual vulnerable groups. But my dear friends, a lot of changes are happening now. Yes, people are changing, they are getting educated, they are getting opportunities, and now you will see not only the top positions are held by the people who are from the highest strata, whether they are rich or they are of higher upper caste, but also the SC, ST, OBC people are having a lot of places for them when it comes to top position in the organization. Okay, so this kind of divide is eliminating, the caste divide is getting eliminated because now people are getting more and more opportunities. Understood? Now, international poverty line, if we talk about, what is international poverty line and what does it talk about? It talks about the minimum pay per day. How much value of income you're getting per day. Okay. They are not talking about calories, but they are talking about $2.50 per day is something a person should have to fall above the poverty line. So that is your international poverty line, my dear students. Not only India has it, but globally also we want to cater to the standard of international poverty line. We want to know how many people are above the poverty line and below the poverty line. Then we should know that almost rupees 215 in Indian rupees should be in the hand of a person per day to fall below the poverty line, above the poverty line for international poverty line. But when it comes to India, if we talk about, for Indians, also 30, 40 and 50 rupees is something per day if you get, you are above the poverty line. So when it comes to income in hand, there is a lot of gap between the international poverty line and Indian poverty line. Yes. Now, causes of poverty. We all know that after 200 years of rule, Britishers ruled us for 200 years. And when they ruled us for 200 years, there was a lot of impact in India. And even in late 1980s, we have seen that a lot of drawback is still there. People are not getting employment. The growth level is not that that much. Yes, the growth level could not be that much even after 1980s, my dear students. Yes, and the India is still grasping, India is still trying to overcome and try to work. The government is trying to work, the society is trying to work to uplift the poverty, the uplift the people above the poverty line, trying to help them via welfare schemes, via a lot of direct benefit transfers done by government. Okay, but Britishers have done. The Britishers, when they come to India, they rule for 200 years. Yes, they rule for 200 years. And even after freedom in 1947, we were so much crippled with the phenomena of poverty, under nutrition. Our children were malnourished, a lot of mortality. Okay, a lot of mortality rate was also high. People were, a lot of mothers who were used to give birth, they used to die, the child used to die. Okay, so this were the factor which was happening after independence, but still we are we are trying to figure it out. Okay, after 200 years of ruling, when we got finally the independence 1947, but still we are struggling with such kind of things. Another cause of poverty is your industries. When industries developed, students, there was a lot of public sector and private sector, but a lot of people were not skilled. Yes, a lot of people were not skilled, my dear students. When people are not skilled, they will not get job in industries, right? So what they started doing irregular small incomes, daily wages, construction workers. They started doing all these things. So when they started doing all these things, they could not get skilled, they could not get educated, and they were not having that income level. So they started very major works like your rickshaw pulling, construction workers, and then they started staying in areas like slums. Yes. If the poverty hits, if the person is not educated, the person is not skilled. We have also studied in our second chapter that if the person is not skilled and not educated, then he or she becomes the liability to the government, liability to the society. So for that, education is must. But again in India, still we are not able to do that for everyone. We are not able to educate each and everyone. Still a lot of drawbacks is there, and still a lot of work need to be done. Okay, going forward, causes of poverty, one of the most causes of poverty is income inequality. If we talk about the income of female, if we talk about the income of male, then there is a lot of inequality happening. Yes, a lot of inequality is happening in that way also. So income inequality becomes one of the major reason because of which poverty is there. The riches are becoming richer, the poorer are becoming poorer. Yes, the business, if we talk about India, 10% of the population of India, 10% the creamy layer of the India are having 90% of the wealth. The 1% is having the majority of the wealth in India. Yes, and these are your business tycoons. The Tata, Birla, Adani, all these are your business tycoons who are actually having the most of the wealth in their hand concentrated, and inequality is increasing. There is corruption which is also catering to the inequality, the divide between the rich and the poor. Yes, the divide between the rich and the poor is increasing. Last but not the least, I would say that yes, poverty is the biggest challenge. But our government is doing a lot of steps. There are a lot of government schemes, welfare schemes like Manrega, there are Rojna, then there is soil fertility scheme in which the soil cards are distributed to the farmers in village. So government is coming up with a lot of schemes. Even for the girl child education, government is coming. Okay, so all these things are happening and it's gearing up in a eventual manner. So India is progressing and India will progress, but the challenges like poverty need to be discussed, and how casteism and other inequality is happening, and why the scenario is still not improving at a greater pace is the need of the hour to understand. So I hope this topic was clear. Please comment below for your more queries. I will be very happy to answer them. And please contact us in this given below number for admissions. And we will get back to you for the next chapter of NCERT class 9. Till then, stay tuned with us.